Best of r/entitled parents episode 64. Hello, it's my first time posting here, and since this happened yesterday it's fresh in my mind. I'm on mobile and half awake, so sorry for the bad text. My high school JROTC program has this event every year where a senior cadet can be assigned a shadow or apprentice for a day. In the morning I was told by my teacher that my shadow is wheelchair bound, so I'll have to take the elevator and ramps with her. Unlike the normal shadows where they're loud and hipper, I was given a sweet cam girl that say "Ard please and thank you." What you came to see, my shadow and I were on our way to my 4th period art class when we bumped into what I'm guessing is a freshman. FM. Hey, learn to walk, freak me, leave her alone UD. Before he could respond back, I notice her drive into my art class and I followed after. He said something after because my teacher standing at the door gave him a look of shock before he ran off. The rest of the day was calm and quiet until it was time to load her into her brother's van. As we're loading her, I get a sharp pain in my shoulder and notice the EM behind me digging her nail into me. EM, what the hell did you call my son earlier? Me, I called your son the D word because he made fun of a disabled person. EM, that gives you no right to call him that. He's a good boy. You and that demon on wheels should have been euthanized. Me starting to get pissed. The fact that your son had to get his mother to fight for him is just petty. Who in their right mind has the guts to say that a person needs to die over a disability? I decide to turn back around and finish buckling her up, but before I can get in, the EM grabs my neck and tries to pull me out. I push her off and yell at her with my best military voice. Me, get the hell off of me, you dumb C. T. EM, help, he's attacking me. FM, get off my mother, you rapist. After a few minutes of the two screaming at me, office pulls up and asked us what's going on. Me, so these two came up to me and started yelling about how this girl in the van right here needs to die. EM, no, he attacked my son and he need to be. Before she could finish her sentence, someone in the crowd around us yelled out, "Shut up and tell the truth, lady." After a few minutes back and forth, the EM was put in the back of the cop car and FM got a ride home with a friend. I deal with entitled people because I work at a restaurant, but this is the worst. Thank you. Next. I never thought that I would be posting here, but for the first time I have had an experience with a Karen. I'll try and add as much detail as I can. I'm on mobile, so bear with me. Me and 2 other friends were going shopping and buying some clothes for the ski break. We live in Switzerland, so all the dialogue I will have translated from German. Since we go to an international school, we speak English, and even though our German is good, we can easily be picked out in a crowd. Also, our school has a reputation of being snobby as it's a private school and costs a lot to go to. Karen. The devil's incarnate, Karen's daughter. Me. F1, friend 1. F2, friend 2. SM, staff member. Police officer. So, we were just finishing getting our coats and putting them on the counter when no one other than Karen and her little demon, who is maybe around 6 years old, walk in the store. We are minding our own business and just talking to one another when she comes over and starts to talk to us. Excuse me, but what are you doing in this shop? Me, just buying clothes. But you're far too young to be here alone. Where are your parents? F1, lady, we're 16. I think we will be alright. Me, trying to be kind, but thank you for asking, but yes, we're alright. Karen, no, you children don't understand. I'm going to find your parents. They must be here somewhere. Walks away. F1, can we go now? We've paid for our things. Me, yeah sure, let's go. Grabs F2's coat. F2, excuse me little girl, can you give me back my coat? As she goes to take it, starts to scream. Comes running back, what have you done to my daughter? F2, tries to explain what happened. Interrupts, they hurt me. They told me I could have the coat if I didn't tell. I don't know how anyone could believe this. How dare you? I will call the police. Security. Me, look, we need to go. You are staying right here, and give me your fucking coat. F2, getting mad. Sorry, but it's my coat. I brought it. But you said. SM, enters, what's happening? Screaming, they assaulted my child and raped her, then stole the coat I brought for her. The staff member calls the police and 15 minutes later they arrive. Thank God you are here. These pedophiles assaulted my daughter and stole from her. Po. Is this true? F2. No. Look at the security cameras. No. There's no need to do that. Long story short, M gets arrested and Ek gets picked up by the father. Don't know what happened after as we just went on to enjoy the rest of our day. Thank you. Next. So some backstory. In my country you need to be licensed to even shoot at a shooting range, and to get the license you need to pass some sort of background check, do some extensive paperwork, and also attend a 1-hour class on firearm safety, range safety, the rules and some other stuff about holding a gun correctly etc, and also a range class where you shoot with the instructors to see if you may pose any danger to the other shooters. Also we have some sort of necklaces where we have to wear our license card so that other people can see our caste. Entitled Dad ED, Hyped Kid HK, Range Instructor RI, Club President CP, and of course ME. So here the story begins. I was at the shooting range training for the IPSC, International Precision Shooting Competition. Since I had a qualifier the next day, I passed the qualifier, and really didn't want to be bothered. After about an hour there, I go early since there's less people. A dad and a kid that should have been around 15 and looked really hyped to be around guns. I was like him my first time there and I can't blame him. Guns are cool, came up to me. I don't know if it was the guns I was using or the metal human shaped target I was shooting that made them come to me specifically. I was using a custom Saiga 12 semi-automatic shotgun with a forward grip, polymer stock, red dot etc, and to someone unfamiliar with guns it may look like a good AK-47. ED. Hey, nice gun you have there. Reloading mags. Yeah, it's great for competitions and the red dot really helps when shooting slugs at small targets. ED. Could you let my son shoot it? Me. Well, your son isn't even old enough to have a license and I wouldn't want to get a strike for giving a non-shooter a gun. If you give a non-shooter a gun after 2 or 3 strikes you can have both your shooting license and your gun ownership license revoked. ED. Okay, can I borrow it since you're going to use your handgun now? I'm licensed. Me. I'm training right now and I need both guns, but you can rent a gun just like this one at the van over there. ED. But I don't want to have to walk all the way there and back. It's maybe 25 meters away. HK. Dad, let's do it. I really want to shoot and also get the paperwork for my training license. The kid looked really serious about it and was willing to spend hours of his life to get the training license, which allows him to shoot with supervision from instructors every now and then. He seemed legitimately interested in pursuing it as a sport. At this point I'm starting to search ED for his license, and at that point I spot a visitor's pass. Basically you can go to the range but aren't allowed to use any guns. You can observe, take a class and the paperwork you need to fill, and sometimes CP will let you shoot so that you can decide whether it's for you or not. Me. So you're not allowed to use a firearm if you're not licensed to do so, and I'll get into serious trouble if I let you. You can talk to CP over there and he'll probably let you try a few shots. ED. No, it's nothing serious, we will just fire a few shots and no harm will come from it. At that point I had already waved at RI to come over so maybe he could get him off my back and let me train, while the kid had already left and went to find CP to do things the right way. RI. Is there anything I can help with? Me. Yeah, this person here would like to shoot a gun, so maybe you can take him to CP to sort some things out and see what he can do. I always want to see more people into the hobby, so I genuinely wanted both of them to have fun. RI. Sure. They talked to CP and under his supervision let them shoot a few rounds with a 9mm and gave them the paperwork and told them that if they want to get licensed to fill it and also come back with a copy of their record. After that the dad came back to me. ED. Okay, I talked to CP and as you see he let us shoot, so can we shoot your gun now? Me. No, I told you I'm not legally allowed to do that. HK. Dad, just drop it, we can't come back in a couple of weeks when we've signed up. ED. Why do you have to make such a fuss about it? Just let us shoot 5 rounds. Me. Please let me go back to my training, I have an important competition tomorrow and as I said there's nothing I can do. RI shouting for all to hear. Guns down. Clear them and place the flags in the chambers. You can go change targets, otherwise just wait for the go ahead to resume shooting. I unloaded both guns and put the flag in the receivers and went to check my groupings up close, and when I turned back I saw ED touching the gun, probably because it looked cool I guess. It couldn't fire with the flag in it no matter what he did, but now I was pissed. So I shouted at both RI and CP to look at him, and they asked him to leave immediately and that he would not be allowed on the range without doing all necessary steps. For some reason many people are completely stupid around guns, and I have some more stories if you want me to share. Thank you. Next. This happened yesterday and I am still super pissed, so if there are spelling errors or grammar mistakes, it is because I'm typing with a lot of fury right now. My mother's younger brother's wife, entitled aunt, has always been an annoying and entitled woman, so I try to limit my time with her. She expects people to drop things at a time to come help her because she's the wife of the only son. My mom is the oldest, most successful and takes care of my grandparents, but they still favor my uncle more just because he is a boy. My uncle is for all intents and purposes a loser, gambles away his money and borrows money from my grandparents when they are just living on social security, and will likely never pay back the tens of thousands of dollars he owes my parents. They have one son and he is the most spoiled brat I have ever met, despite the very little means to buy him anything. However, he has been taught his whole life that he does nothing wrong. If he gets in trouble at school, his parents tell him the other kid is wrong. Anyways, we decided to celebrate Chinese New Year early this year because it was a 3-day weekend the weekend before and the NFC/AFC championships, so a lot of things to bring the family around. Anyways, I had just gotten a new home and decided to host the extravaganza. In my house, there's a den that I have dedicated to being my man cave/office, pics attached. The room is on the bottom floor right next to the garage and laundry room. Ref equals https://imga.com/imco8rc. imgsrc equals https://imga.com/imco8rc. JPG title equals source, imga.com/slasher. Ref equals https://imga.com/vkbmlbb. imgsrc equals https://imga.com/vkbmlbb. JPG title equals source, imga.com/slasher. This is still a work in progress for your information. Need to add some shelves and do some more cable management. Anyways, this has always been one of my dream setups. The right is my workstation since I work from home at least once a week. The left is my personal game station. My gaming PC is mounted below the table, and then left of my computer is where my consoles are with a nice 40-inch 4K HDR TV. Anyways, I've worked my ass off creating this room and continue to work hard to get more stuff. So entitled aunt and her hellspawn entitled cousin comes over. Since it was their first time over, I give them a tour. Everything entitled aunt sees, she has a negative comment about despite never having owned her own house because her husband is a deadbeat. When we reach my den, entitled cousin lights up and goes nuts over my setup. I tell them how I work on one side and play on the other side. My aunt goes straight into ridiculing me how this is all a waste of money and how I shouldn't be playing games. I remind her that I work in the gaming industry and that there's no age limit to video games. Entitled cousin starts whining about how he wants this too. Without a second thought, my aunt walks over to my gaming area and starts unplugging things and grabbing controllers. I ask her what the hell she is doing and she says, "My son wants this, so I'm packing it up." I tell her that she cannot take what is not hers, and he cannot have it. Entitled cousin now starts screaming, "I want IT. I want IT now." Now I am a big guy for an Asian person. 5 feet 10 and over 200 pounds of mostly muscle. My aunt is maybe 5 feet 2, so not only do I tower over her, I am probably twice her body weight, and she knows I am easily the strongest in the family, so there's no way she can wrestle anything away from me. I tell her to put everything back now. She reluctantly complies and haphazard puts stuff down. Might as well have dropped everything. She threatens to tell my mom and I tell her to go ahead since my mom hates her. She drags entitled cousin out screaming and I clean up my office and make sure to close the door behind me. The night goes on and we're watching the games on TV while eating up a storm. I go to the bathroom and notice that both entitled aunt and entitled cousin are missing. It was odd because I could have swore I heard more of that brat's crying earlier. That's when my spidey sense tingles and I walk downstairs to see my entitled cousin carrying my PS4 and other stuff in his small arms. They're halfway in the garage when they turn around and see me. I scream out WTF and they start running to their car. I chase after them and my scream alerts the entire family. I chase after them and get to their car before they do. I tell entitled aunt that she has some balls trying to steal from me. She smugly says that you can't steal from family and her son needs those games because he is such a good boy. I tell her she is not taking a thing and I will call the police on her. She thinks I'm bluffing, so I break out my phone and call my buddy who is a cop to see if he is free, and I explain the situation to him. At this point, my aunt is screaming up a storm, neighbors are looking through the windows, and I am standing right between her and her car. My parents and my siblings all came out and blocked the car with me. Eventually, the police show, but not my friend. Someone else must have called. Entitled aunt goes into a weeping mode and tells the police how she's being robbed by these people. I try speaking but she goes even louder. The cop's partner starts pushing me back and tells me to step away. I tell him that I'm not stealing anything she's trying to steal from me. The police are super confused and even more police show up. Entitled aunt keeps preaching her BS. The cops appear to be taking her side. I try to talk but no one is willing to listen. My friend eventually shows up and tells the other officers what is going on. They still don't believe me but instead ask me if I can prove all of the items are mine. I take out my phone and show them on my Nest cams everything. I have a cam in my office because it also leads to the backyard, so if anyone comes in, it records everything. I show them the conversation of when entitled aunt first tries to take my stuff. Then I show them entitled aunt and cousin taking everything later and running out of the house. Entitled starts backpedaling and says that all of this stuff belonged to her son. I know that entitled cousin doesn't know anything about console games, so I ask him what he plays on his PS4 and he immediately responds with Halo. Entitled aunt looks back at me smug, but as many gamers know, entitled cousin just done effed up. I tell everyone how Halo is only Xbox. You can't play it on PS4 and anyone who owned the console would know that. Finally, the police see the light and take back everything and hands my stuff back to me or my family. The police then ask if I want to press charges. I look at entitled aunt in the face and simply say yes. They arrest her but I convince them to leave my entitled cousin with us instead. After about a week I will drop the charges, but I want entitled aunt to sweat it out because she was not only theft but it was considered grand larceny and that was going to mean some serious jail time. She is now forever banned from my home. Thank you. Next. For context, this happened well over a decade now. When I was in junior high school I had very low expectations of myself, especially when it came to writing, both handwriting and grammar. There was an essay competition at the end of my last year there and I really didn't want to enter, but my counselor really did recommend I do, so I tried. I believe the topic was something along the lines of what made you like school or such. I ended up writing about how I used to hate math, but then fell in love with it because of my teachers. At the commencement ceremony there was the awards and accommodations going on, and it got to the essay section and for the best essay award it's DSI. I honestly remembered being confused, but my friend sitting next to me nudged my arm to remind me to go get the award. I stand up and anxious 12-year-old me goes up and gets handed a certificate and an envelope. The principal then said the reward received is a $50 bond. After I got back to my seat my friend said congratulations, and after my great-grandma hugged me and told me she was proud of me. Now on to my mother. After not coming to the ceremony because I'm sorry, I had something very important to do, getting high with some guy. I'm very happy you graduated. Then dumb child me, who still loved my mother, showed her my certificate and reward. She looked at the certificate and didn't say anything. Then to the bond. Oh, you want a bond? We should take it to the bank. I was fine with this. We went, and when the bank clerk sat us down, she asked about its worth and so on. Bank said, well, the bond is currently worth $20 and will hit $50 in 3 years. Then the bond will continue to gain value over the following years. My mother said, is it possible to take the current value of it now in cash? And the banker said, yes, but you'd be better saving it. My mother being herself, no, I think DSI wants it today, right? Looking at me, and still being stupid me said yeah while smiling. thinking about a video game I could get. Spoiler, I didn't get the game. After getting the cash value of $20 I said, can I get MW2 now? She said, oh honey, I'll get you that for your birthday in July. It was June. Right now I really need to get a pack of cigarettes. Didn't hate my mom after that. Just thought I'd get my gift later. Ended up getting it for my birthday, with the money I was given by my great grandma, which my mother was mad I spent without telling her I had it. She took the rest of my birthday money. Thank you. Next. This happened a few years back, so it's not word for word, but close enough. I was walking through a store in a shopping center that had multiple levels and escalators to move between them. I'm on my way through the women's clothing section, and I see a kid, maybe 3/4 years old, younger than preschool at least, running around near the top of the escalators. Where's the mother? No clue at this point, so I stop for a sec to check the kid has a parent in the vicinity. Just as I stop, I see the kid trip head first toward the escalators. I do what any reasonable person would do, and catch the kid before they fall head first down the flight of moving, rough, metal stairs. The kid spoke pretty well for one so little, and said thank you, but started crying out of the shock of, almost dying. Q mummy dearest. EM equals entitled mother. K equals kid. Me equals you can figure that one out. NL equals nice lady. EM, get your hands off my son. At first I'm understanding. I can see why she could think I might be endangering her boy. Me, oh, sorry, he was about to fall down the escalators and I. EM, clearly not having listened to me at all. How dare you lay a hand on him you. K, mummy she's a nice girl, she. EM, sweetie it's okay let mummy handle this one. Turns back to me you're lucky I haven't called security. Me, I'm sorry, he was falling and I didn't want. At this point I start crying, as I'm a scared 15-year-old girl just trying to be a nice person. K, mummy don't make her cry. EM, it's alright, she was doing something naughty, honey. Then to me that's not going to get you anywhere sweetie, you never lay a hand on my son again. NL has meanwhile been making her way over without our noticing. NL, excuse me. EM, this is none of your. NL, cutting her off. This girl just saved your son from falling headfirst down an escalator and getting seriously injured or maybe even dying, and she's tried to tell you this twice. She doesn't deserve to be yelled at for doing a good deed. EM, clearly a little embarrassed, trying to save face. Well she should have tried harder to tell me. I gave her ample opportunity to explain herself. Bitch, when? She grabbed her son and walked off in a huff. NL gave me a tissue and checked I was okay, and I thanked her and she went back about her day. I understand that this was probably a first-time mother concerned for her son's safety from strangers, but if she'd been paying more attention to her kid and less to the pretty dress, the whole situation wouldn't have occurred in the first place. Also if she'd listened to the frightened schoolgirl instead of yelling over her explanations. Thank you. Next. Hello everyone. It's me again and in my last post I said I might post a story about how my 8-year-old brother got bullied for having no hair, so here I am to tell the story. Backstory. This was 7 months after my brother had been diagnosed with leukemia. He was diagnosed 10 days after his 8th birthday. This happened at his school and luckily he had a bunch of friends backing him up, so this is what happened. But first, meet the cast. Me, mum cool mum. Bro my brother. BF my brother's best friend. F1 my brother's friend. F2 same as F1. EK, piece of filth. EM, dirty filthy pig. The story. The school bell had rang and my mum and I were on my way to bring my brother to the hospital for a blood test. My brother had walked out of the school gate and was waiting outside on a small hill when EK approached my bro and his friends. EK, what's wrong with you? He was speaking to my brother. Bro, oh, I have leukemia. EK, what's that? Bro, it's a kind of cancer. Now will you please go away? EK, whatever cancer is, it's made you very ugly. Bro, starts to tear up. BF, you can't say that to people. EK. F1 go away. EK, no one likes you anyway. These 8-year-olds had no filter mayo. F2, it's okay, you're not ugly, you're special and we are here for you, don't listen to EK. EK runs away to tell his mum what they said about him. Insert the EM. This is the worst part of the story. EM, which of you insulted my sweetheart? The EM looks around at my bro and his friends and spots my friends hugging my brother. So sweet. EM, EW, OMG, what is wrong with that thing? EK, he has cancer? EM, what? Why is this school allowing children with cancer to attend this place? I don't want my angel catching cancer. F2, you can't catch cancer. EM, then how did he get it, you imbecile? At this point my brother was gonna flood the school with his tears, but my mum and I arrived, and even though I was only 12 I frickin' sprinted up that hill when I saw my brother crying with his friends surrounding him. Me, what the heck is going here, BF? BFEK was making fun of bro for having no hair. That's when I felt anger spread through my entire body. I have always been protective of my brother, but this was a different kind of protectiveness. I was ready to rip his head clean off of his shoulders. I practicality did this, is what I said to EK, not even realizing EM was right there. Me, how dare you bully my brother because he has no hair, you filthy piece of acid. Yes, I swore even though I was 12. Now EK was crying because I was very intimidating because I'm a lot taller than most of my friends I used to get mistaken for being in year 8. The EM went crazy. EM, you dare speak to my angel that way? You're just as ugly as your disgusting brother. Get out of my sight. Keep in mind this was the last day of school for 2016, so I was giving zero craps about what I said because that family was moving states anyway, so we would never see them again, but I guess EK wanted to leave with one more insult. Mum, in a disappointing tone, how can you say something like that to other mothers' children? Say bro, me, let's stop for ice cream before we go to the hospital. So we left with my brother out of tears to cry, but he was pretty happy when his tongue hit the ice cream. EK and EM, if you're reading this, fuck you and burn in hell.